Good morning. Thank everybody for coming here. I'm Rigoberto Villarreal, Superintendent of Bridges for McAllen, Hidalgo, and Anzalduas. And I've been here a little over a year, and we've made some great accomplishments and great strides in doing what we need to do for our communities and for trade and commerce in our area. I'd like to start by wishing Mayor Richard Cortez a happy birthday. Mayor, happy birthday. This is part of your birthday present, Mayor.
Okay.
But secondly, I'd like to recognize everyone here who are very good supporters of helping us get what we need. Paul Curtin is here from Hunt Valley Development. Mike, thank you. Mr. Klink, one of our bridge board members. Alonso Cantu may be here. He confirmed is showing up. MEDC for Mission. MEDC for McAllen. Keith Patrick, I saw him earlier. Matt. Alex Mead. Julio Cerda's here. If I miss anybody, let me know. I know CBP, Customs and Border Protection, sent some representatives. Thank you for joining us. Excuse me if I miss anybody. But I'm going to go ahead and start it off. When we define effective, when we look up effective in our dictionaries, excuse me, the wind's getting the best of me. It reads production of or capable of producing a result. And I'm gonna brief you all on a quick background on Senator Hinojosa. He was a former U.S. Marine in Vietnam. He was a graduate of University of Pan American. He is a Senate Finance Vice Chairman. He's served over 20 years in the State House of Representatives and in the Senate. He's also helped secure over $300 million for transportation projects in the last 3 years for Texas. And the definition of effective, I'm going to give you some dates. On Saturday, the 19th of March, on a Saturday morning, we met in Mayor Beto Salinas' office. It was about 1:30 p.m. And Senator Hinojosa, Mayor Salinas, and myself met to discuss the congestion and the needed infrastructure improvements at Anzalduas for passenger traffic. That was the first discussion we had with Senator Hinojosa. The second one was on the 29th of March, which was a Tuesday in Austin. We met with Texas transportation officials, Mayor Cortez, Mike Perez, Teclo, and myself, Rene Ramirez, who's here also. And the third meeting, which was May the 26th, was at the Texas Transportation Commission hearing where we received the $7 million for the Anzalduas International Bridge. So I'd like to see if anybody here can help me write some letters to the dictionary manufacturing company, see if we can change the definition of effective to read State Senator Juancho Hinojosa.
Hey.
Because if that's not effective, I don't know what is. We're very lucky to have him as our state senator. We're very lucky to have him as a friend. And we're very lucky to have him as, I consider him to be one of our stakeholders. So thank you very much. I want to introduce our birthday boy, Mayor Richard Cortez.
Thank you, Leo. At my age, every birthday is a good one because you never know when the next one's going to come. This morning is a very special day because it brings a community together after a good fight to really bring needed resources to this area. As you know, part of our economy largely depends on our ability to have efficient trade with Mexico. We do business with Mexico in multiple ways. Some are simply just consumers that come here legally through our legal ports of entry and consume and enjoy an American experience. But a lot of it is commercial trade. And some of the activities we also have here is the maquiladora industry. And most of them are in in-time inventory situations, which means that they produce and assemble certain goods in Mexico. They have to truck them across international boundary through trucks, leave that merchandise here, and quickly get back so they can then make another circle and come back. So efficiency in our legal ports of entry is tremendously important. Unfortunately, we find ourselves at a time of budgetary constraints, and the government is running out of money in many ways. So one of the things that we thought was extremely important for our region is to be more efficient in our ability to have that trade between individuals and commercial traffic. And one of the things that we needed is a southbound traffic operation here in Anzalduas. You know, it's just like an hourglass. If you have 1 hourglass, then the sand can only go through that area, and that's it. And right now, that's where we find ourselves here. There's only one way to get in trucks and one way to bring them back. So we thought it was a good idea to fully utilize this new beautiful asset that we have, Anzalduas Bridge, to allow some of that commercial traffic to at least be able to return to Mexico, since a lot of that activity is on the west side. The other things is that we have to be more efficient in expediting those peak times, right? Obviously today is not a peak time, but you'll see many times where there's almost an hour and a half of cars here trying to get in there. So we wanted to be sure to have more lanes to be able to serve more customers. The problem was we didn't have any money, okay? So we go to the most efficient, or what is it, the effective person that we knew to help us with that effort. He and his staff did a tremendous job of identifying sources of funds and was able to convince TxDOT to be able to allocate them to us. So today, it's a day of celebration. It's a day of celebration of several things. To give thanks to a public servant that has served us very well. To give thanks to ourselves for bringing together our communities. This has been an effort of our sister city of Mission, Hidalgo, ourselves, to really try to always continue to improve the facilities and the business that we do. So it gives me great pleasure now to introduce a dear friend of mine. I've tried to learn a lot from him, because boy, he's really taken Mission to a higher level. Anytime you have a 69% growth in 10 years, that's pretty good. I was only able to do 21 in McAllen, so I have a lot of learning to do, Mayor. So it gives me a great pleasure to introduce my dear friend, Mayor Beto Salinas from the city of Mission. Beto?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I want to recognize my friend Juan Hinojosa. I've known him for many, many years, and he has always been very effective in his leadership in Austin. And when you see all these projects that we are working throughout Mission, this last one that we're doing here on Bryan Road, we got $30 million from the state. And he is the one that every time she sees Mission out there trying to get some money, he's out there helping us and trying to get every penny that we can get to make Mission grow. And I hate to tell you, but in the last 3 years, we've been able to get about $160 million for the city of Mission. And Juan has a lot to do with that. When we first started working on this bridge, we always talked about, and it's been a struggle for the last 12 years, and we always have that stumbling block from somebody. And finally, we got this bridge open, and it's working very well for us, better than what we expected. And we know that the federal government didn't have any money to do our extension on the southbound for empties, and of course we want to build 4 or 5 more lanes going north. And we were able to get the funding from the state through Juan's leadership and the state leadership and TxDOT. We have everything ready, but probably we hear that the federal government, the people, the CBP is telling us that we cannot do that. It gets to the point that I blame everything to politics. And I blame Senator Cornyn for not helping us in trying to get this thing resolved. We have $7 million from the state. We should be working in building these lanes that we need so bad. We have spent money through our Chamber of Commerce in Mission and the Chamber of Commerce in McAllen in trying to promote this bridge in Monterey. We have billboards. We have our numbers, and people call us and tell us that they have 4-hour waits here in Anzalduas. And here we have CBP telling us that we are not going to be able to do this, and not even with our own money. Talking to TechStat yesterday, told me that they were not going to send that money back. We're going to keep it here until we get it done. And somehow, we're going to have to make some other calls. And I just don't appreciate the senator, Congressman Cuellar, and everybody else that's in Washington that do not let us work and let this thing happen for us. Mission and McAllen are one of the most beautiful cities in the border. I know that FAR has their bridge. They have a lot of problems with their traffic, and I think anybody that wants to go to FAR and try to get across through FAR is going to have a hard time. So I'm sure FAR is not going to work against us because they have nowhere to go in Mexico. They cannot grow south of Mexico. They have a very congestive area in getting those trucks going north. And I feel it's time for everybody to understand where we're at. We got to convince CBP, and they got to let us do our work. We're not asking for money from the federal government. We have our money that we got through Juan. And you don't know how hard it's been for Juan to get us this money. So I want to send a message to Washington, and Senator Cornyn is one of my best friends. I supported him, but I just don't agree with him not picking up the phone, being the second strongest senator in this whole country, that he cannot call CBP or call the people from Customs and tell them how important it is for them to let us build these facilities, the 6 lanes that we need to build. And of course, the building that we have to have whenever we get the permit to get the empties going south. We should be able to get that done right now, and they're not letting us do that. And I'm not supposed to be saying this because they don't agree with me on talking bad about CBP. Well, they just need to get their priorities in place, because it's not fair. It's not fair to our chamber people that work so hard in trying to promote our city, and it's so hard for the chamber people in McAllen, MEDC in McAllen, MEDC in Mission, and they expect us to have these things ready for them. So I hope they get my message, and if they want to talk to me, I'll be more than glad to talk to them, CBP or whoever. I just don't understand why they do not want to be able to give themselves to us and let us do our work and let us bring more people into our area. Mexico is one of the best things that ever happened to us. People in Mexico are the people that are having us keep a very low unemployment in Mission. And Mexico is what's been able to grow Mission and McAllen. And the other communities in the valley know that we're not asking for much. We just want them to let us do what we are supposed to do. This land was donated by Mr. Hunt to the city of Mission and to the city of McAllen. We gave it to the federal government. They haven't spent a penny on property. We've been very, very good to them. And I want them to go ahead and return that favor by letting us build those lanes that we need so we can make it easy for people from Mexico, and let us use the building that we're supposed to have to get empties going south. There's no reason why we should not be able to send trucks from north to south. And if anybody has a better idea on how to do this, they need to let us know. But I think this is the best thing to do. And for the people that are working on that truck, they have to wait 4 and 5 hours and far. It is not fair for those people that are having to drive those trucks and wait. Let us get together, and this is what we have. This is why we have you guys, the media. And I want everybody to know that I'm not happy with what's happening in Washington, and I'm not happy with CBP in telling us in verbally. They don't want to give it to us in writing yet, but they're going to give it to us in writing. But we're not going to stop here. We are going to be doing something about it, and I hope they come to realize that we are right, that we need to be able to build these lanes and get better service to the people that are coming in from Mexico, and let us send empty south. Thank you, and I am very grateful that the media was able to be here, and I'm grateful to the people from our board members that are here, MDC McAllen, MDC Mission, and our Chamber of Commerce is from both cities. And I want to thank Rigo for doing such a good job with our board. And I also want to thank Senator Hinojosa. Him and I started campaigning in 1980 when he ran for state rep and I ran for county commissioner. And we've been together since. And I know that he's very upset with CBP. He probably won't tell you that. But I'm going to tell you that he said that to me. So thank you all very much.
You know, I'm always on his side. He tells it like it is. He doesn't hold back. But I want to tell you that it's really amazing to be here this morning. I remember 17 years ago, we started the Anzalduas Bridge project. Mayor Salinas, Mayor Richard Cortez, Mayor John de France, George Ramon, Ricardo Salinas, traveling to Mexico, trying to get the permits to construct this bridge, because Mexico is the key to our economy and to jobs, not only here in the Valley, but in Texas and our country. Sometimes people don't realize that this is about jobs and commerce. Mexico is the #1 trading partner to Texas. Mexico is #2 trading partner to our country, the USA. That's how important commerce is. So it's important for us, even in hard times, to invest money in our infrastructure, to continue expanding our facilities to accommodate commerce and trade between Mexico, Texas, and our country. Because that means jobs. That means jobs, jobs. And for us, here in the Valley, we're very fortunate that we are like a family with Mexico. People up north sometimes don't realize that here in the border area, our families don't recognize the border. We live together, we eat together, we work together, and we help each other. And to me, this is an investment that shows collaboration between and among Mission, City of Hidalgo, the county, the state, and hopefully the federal government to continue investing money, to continue creating jobs for our people here in South Texas. I just want to thank you for being here this morning. I look forward to continuing to make sure that we expand this bridge to meet its full potential and to continue providing jobs for our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. I forgot to recognize at least 2 or 3 organizations or people. The first one is Mission PD. Thank you for being here. We feel very safe when you're here. We have a very good rapport, Chief Martin. We want to congratulate your officers. They're always here when we need them. Annie Garcia is here. She's a regional director for Senator Cornyn's office. Alexis from Congressman Cuellar's office. Thank you for being here. And we're going to open it up. If y'all have any questions from us, we're here. Just let us know.